Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do something that's a little less shooting oriented and a lot more to do with how you take care of your cameras. Today we're going to be replacing the light seals on this Canon G3 QL17. And let me pop open the back here. You'll be able to see that it is quite deteriorated. Every time I open here, there's a few new speckles that you can see in there, and I can blow them away, and that's a sign that you need to change out your light seals. For some popular camera models, you can get light seal kits for 10 bucks, 15 bucks, which can save you quite a bit in the long run instead of having a bunch of light leaks in your photos. So I'll be using this light seal kit that I got from US Camera on eBay. I've used another one of their light seal kits on my Mamiya 645 and they're overall pretty good. So I will get to removing all of this crud. The first thing I would recommend that you have is a blower, a little type of receptacle to receive the chunks of light seal material foam, some isopropyl alcohol. I have an entire toolkit. I usually just use this plastic scraping tool to get the adhesive off, and then I use these needle nose tweezers to pull off larger chunks. So I'll pull those out right now. And then if I really need to get in there, I'll use this spudger to get a little bit sharper of a slice at the light seal. So what I like to do is I like to pour out some isopropyl alcohol into the lid. That way I don't use too much. Set the bottle off to the side. That way you don't have to worry about getting isopropyl alcohol spillage all over your stuff. Oh, I didn't mention this, but I use Q-tips. So you'll just lightly soak your Q-tip real quick. And then without getting it all over the camera, you'll just want to soak the bits and pieces. I've been able to get a lot of mileage by just kind of rolling the cotton swab, and you can already see on the Q-tip itself there's quite a bit of gunk coming off. There's a little bit too much alcohol on there, and some of the foam was trying to make a run for the hills, so I had to grab a new Q-tip to soak it up. You should be able to see that a lot of this stuff will take some time to come off. So I will cut the camera and I will see you once I get this gunk to an acceptable state. One thing that I like to do before pulling off the old light seals is kind of measure out where the new light seals will go. You don't want to pull them all off and then not know which ones go where and end up with a issue that will require you to pull it all apart again. That one looks like it goes in there. It's kind of black, so you might not be able to see it very well in the video. So I can't find a place for these two tiny seals. So I'm assuming that they are for one of the other models that this kit is used for. Probably the 19N or the 28. So we're gonna move on to trying to pull off this thick boy right down here. While trying to clean out as much gunk as we can. I'm not even sure what this is. wonder if it's magnetic. That is not working. Most of the time this deteriorated foam does not like to come out. A course of action could be to scrape at the foam in one spot until the adhesive starts to come up. And if you can get the adhesive to come up, then you can start to pull away the rest of it. I do not think that this foam is going to come out easy, so we might just have to scrape the foam itself off. Which is easy. Oh, look at that. Tweezery doos. Oh, that decrepit foam. Yeah. You are barely blocking light, huh? And then another pass going the other way. And keep in mind that I'm using a plastic scrape so I don't damage the metal and its coatings and whatnot. Once you have a little bit of the light seal off, you can tilt it downwards, and then without it pointing towards your lens, just give it a quick spritz. Now that there's a fair chunk of light seal that you've taken off, I would just recommend taking some rubbing alcohol and placing it on the adhesive that you couldn't get off before. And what that's going to do is that's going to cause the adhesive to be less adhesive, and you'll be able to come back through again with a little bit of a advantage to get more of the glue off. And then we'll move on to the next light seal, which is this one over here. One nice thing about ordering your light seals from US Camera is that they typically include a little skewer with their kits, and it does a pretty good job at reaching pretty much anywhere you need to get. So I used it a few times on my Mamiya, and now I'm going to use it again here because it just fit under there so much more nicely. Take that old decrepit piece of foam that came off too easily, pull it out. Now we're going to move on to the top side, this seal that goes around the top of the back cover. Yeah, just see how it comes off. That's it. That's it. So now that the foam strips kind of came off just fine, I'm gonna clean it all up with some rubbing alcohol applied generously. So now that I've got the light seals taken off, I'm going to start applying some of the foam to it. On the US Camera website, or not website, on their YouTube channel, they recommend grabbing the foam by the corner piece and then pulling apart from the, or pulling it from the paper instead of pulling the paper from the foam, because I mean, it sounds backwards, but it makes more sense once you've done it a couple times. So my best way is I've kind of crumpled the end a little bit to try and get some initial separation, and then I will just pull it apart like so. There's no technique to doing it. There is a correct way to put on the foam, and that is just as evenly as possible. So I'll give it a squish, and then you'll see right there, you can see a little bit that's sticking out. So that means that I'm good to grab the corner and then just peel away. Now all we have left is this long portion here. There is a brake though for this lever. Can you even see that? For the lever, that will have to cut a portion of this adhesive off for. So I'm gonna go ahead and start laying out the adhesive. Okay, and then we are pretty much at our mechanism, so I'm gonna snip right there, and then finish that out. Perfectissimo. Hopefully, if you did it right, you'll have a well-sealed camera. There seems to be far less play in the camera's back cover, so I'm pretty sure it's ready for prime time.